Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning to everyone. Okay, let's begin our session today by recitations of Kitab Al-Fatiha. On behalf of the UiTM, we would like to express our very thankfulness for Mr. Hong Lim for attending or for accepting our invitation for today's sessions. All right. Without further ado, I would like to read your Mr. Hong backgrounds. Mr. Lim Guan Hong is a member of Associations of Chartered Certified Accountant ACCA UK, a member of Malaysian Institute of Accountant MIA, and Chartered Tax Institute of Malaysia CTIM. He also hold a Master in Science from University of London, ranking within the top 10 in the world. He has made a remarkable achievement in his study by being an ACCA affiliate at the age of 23. We are in the age of 23. Currently, he is studying and researching PhD in majoring in taxation and artificial intelligence. And he is also one of the youngest tax agent in Northern Region, awarded the lesson by Ministry of Finance by the age of 29. All right. For the working experience, he has extensive working experience in two big four company, which is a PwC and Deloitte, and he was a tax manager in the reputable medium-sized public accounting firm. And now he is a founder and CEO of Advisors Group, a digital accounting firm with a total of 50 service centers in the whole Malaysia, including Kuching and Sarawak. And he is a CEO and founder of Advisors Plus, overseeing the strategic planning, operational execution, talent management, and promoting digital adoption. All right. For today's sessions, I hope that everyone here can get a benefit, can ask lots of questions. You got this kind of opportunity you to grasp all the G's, what you need to have to prepare you before you go for the practical training. Without further ado, I think it is the best that we take a picture first, because we are tend to forget when we at the end of the session. All right. Can my dear student open the camera? We can see your beautiful face now, hopefully. Can you open your camera? Kau tengah cari tudung lagi. No one willing to open the camera. Why?
Okay.
Not chat. Alright, huh? How about anyone? Just that Nur Alia only.
Very shy, you know.
Please on the camera now.
Alia Amira, we can't see your face now. It's just like too high. Yeah, just nice. Okay, Dr. Ija, can you snap a picture?
Okay. Just few others not on the camera yet.
Check.
It's very early. You look... Oh my god. So sorry, Mr. Hong. Wait, because the weekend, they are mood weekend.
It's okay. Baru bangun ah.
You can see how they face. Oh my
Sagi
God.
jangan takut ah, kena tanya saya soalan ah. Bila saya tanya.
Okay, please. Hari, hari. Mana cepat? So, nah, ini saja. Okay, Tina Hidayah. Okay, ya, boleh ya? Okay, smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, part on. 1, 2, 3. Sekejap, I try ya. Saya tak pernah take the picture. Wait. Then how? Okay. Oh God, then how? Save. Okay, wait lah, wait doktor. Oh. Okay. One more time. Ini je yang stay on. Mana lagi? Macam mana saya nak go to the next I don't know how. Okay. Okay lah. Okay, one more time. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Smile. Right. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much to everyone. All right. And we are delightful to pass these sessions to Mr. Mr. Hong Lim for the next session. Thank you.
Thank you. So let me just share my screen first. Okay, can you see my screen with the slides?
So far, I'm not seeing the script. I just seeing the interface for the Microsoft Team.
Okay, wait.
All right.
Be able to see,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So yeah, you can see, right? So before I start, so thank you, first of all, thank you for the university for inviting me, right? And also to share some of my, experience with the students. Okay. Now, before I start, so just want to make sure everyone is here. I mean, and if all the students, if you can see the screen and hear my voice clearly, please type one in the chat box. Okay, please type one in the chat box. Okay, thank you, doctor. Students, okay. Yes, yes. So, yeah, feel free to switch on your video, okay? If not, then baru bangun tak apa. Then you can just listen, but later feel free to ask any questions you want, okay? So, yeah, then everything is good. So I will just start. Okay, so first of all, thank you, University, and also Puan Farah, and also doctors, okay, for inviting me to share about this, the life cycle of company director. Now, so just again, a basic introduction of myself. Basically, I'm a licensed company secretary, okay, under MIA, and then I specialize in help our clients to do this tax planning, corporate restructuring, okay, and I deal a lot with like our those directors, okay, a lot of companies, Sdn Bhd, okay, basically we are dealing with like helping them to set up their business, okay. Now, so in Malaysia we have right now, of course, right now I'm also a tax consultant, okay. I believe you heard about this e-invoice. I have already conducted more than 100 sessions of e-invoice training. I train listed company, okay, uh, private companies, SME, etc. Okay, so I also consult a lot of listed company, and we invest. We have a private equity fund where we invest in those board of directors um, in Bursa Malaysia, etc. Okay, now so. Um, Besides that, currently I'm taking PhD research AI in accounting, okay, and tax. So that's what I want to bring more value to the students, to the society and the industries. Okay. Now, okay. So what is director actually? Who knows what is the function of a director? Okay, so if we go back to the act or anything, then we know actually it's just like a person occupying the position of director by whatever name called, like sometimes they can be called as a CEO, managing director, trustee, etc. Okay, but in real life, okay, in real life, okay, what that it means is like director, right? You direct the position of the company, you direct the strategies of the companies. Okay, let's say now you want to start up a business in Malaysia. Okay, now students, do you know how many type of entities we can start to, I mean, to set up, okay, to start your business? How many types? Can you name some of them to me? Maybe you can just type in the in the chat box. Let's say now you want to sell, okay, let's say you want to start an online business selling maybe IT products. Okay, now what will you do? First of all, you will set up a business, right? Orang selalu cakap, saya nak buat business, so saya nak buat itu SSM, kan? SSM. Okay, so maksud apa? What do we mean by, when I want to register business, I want to register SSM. Now, how many types of business entity in Malaysia? Maybe like I believe you heard of like someone they want to set up business in a online shop, maybe by Shopee. Okay, who knows? Any one of you knows, then or you can share. You can just type in your chat box. Tak pernah buat business ah. Okay. Usually we have a sole proprietor, right? Okay, sole proprietor. Yeah, sole proprietor. Yes. Dr. Shah. We have a partnership. Yes. Cairo cakap partnership, betul. Dan kita ada LLP kan, limited liability partnership, and we have a Sdn Bhd, okay, Sdn Bhd, and of course we have Bhd. Now, just imagine today, okay, you just want to go to school, okay, from kindergarten. So sole proprietor is just like kindergarten, and then you grow up to primary school, then maybe you go to like uh, partnership or LLP, and then you grow further, then you go up to your university, then we call it as Sdn Bhd. And then one day you graduate, you go to the society, then you become Bhd. Bhd is listed company, so you go IPO, go listing. So among all these in Malaysia, I would say the most common one is Sdn Bhd. So Sdn Bhd is basically called as Sdn private limited company in Malaysia, right? So what we do is Sdn Bhd, okay, the Companies Act 2016. Okay, Companies Act 2016. What that it says, um, to start a business using Sdn Bhd, okay, we must have a director, right? we must have a company secretary. And then after that, the company secretary will appoint directors, shareholders, auditors, tax agent, etc. in the company. So basically, that's why today we are talking about the role of directors. What do we mean? What are the roles? What are their responsibility? But first of all, we tell you in real life. So basically, director is a must. Okay, of course, before we set up a Sanjam Berhad, you must get a company secretary. So I'm the person who, okay, what my role is, usually I will help my clients. Okay, they want to start up a business, so they find me, which is I'm a chartered accountant, then I'm a licensed company secretary under SSM. Okay, so what we do is usually we ask the clients, what is your business, etc. Then who is your director, who is your shareholder, what is your paid up share capital, what is your corporate restructuring. Okay, so in Malaysia, when we say we want to start up a Sanjam Berhad, right? So usually people will confuse. What they confuse? Um, they thought that director is same as shareholder, and they don't know what is the role of director. Now, basically, director is someone who manage the company. For example, they want to, they want to grow the business. Okay, when they start out the Sandram Berhad, they want to open a company account. Okay, or maybe they want to have some board meetings, or maybe they want to carry out some decision. So basically, director is the one who manage, okay, manage the manage the operation of the business. Okay, then shareholder is the one who own the company. So two different roles. Okay, so next, in Malaysia now, minimum, okay, we need only one director, okay, to start out Sanjam Berhad. Last time, before the Companies Act 2016, actually we need at least two. Now they have changed the law, so at least one director, then we already can start a Sanjam Berhad. And of course, you must ordinarily reside in Malaysia. Secondly, you must be a natural person, at least 18 years old. And of course, you are, not disqualified. Maybe, like for example, usually what we test, okay, we'll test on the bankruptcy test. Okay, now let's say in real life, okay, basically in my hand I got around 500 plus of a Sanjam Berhad. I manage all of them. So when they come to me, okay, or with my team, my company secretary, so what we do is usually we will do some KYC, we will check their background. Okay, maybe we'll go to do CTOS report, we'll buy their personal record, their background, etc. We do some interview, and then also very important, we take the IC, we ask around, and then of course we will check in the government website. Okay, we'll buy their bankruptcy test. Okay, because if you are being sued or convicted, or if you are bankruptcy, you cannot be a director. Okay, so this is very, very important. Okay, now, so what is the core responsibility of a director? Okay, very important, we say fiduciary duties. Okay, what is fiduciary duties? Act honestly. Okay, avoid conflict of interest, and then not and we need to treat the shareholders very fair. And also statutory duties, like you act with the care, skill, and diligence. Okay, keep proper accounting records. So those are the job. Okay, those are their job. Okay, now we need to appoint the first director after the incorporation of Sdn Bhd, and then subsequent directors appointed by shareholders via ordinary resolution. Now, um, for public company, okay, like just now I mentioned, we have Sdn Bhd, we have a public company, right, Berhad. So usually, they need to be voted if you are public company, okay, and then those are for the appointment. Now, sometimes, okay, in real life, people will argue when they are not happy with the directors. Okay, then probably let's say when they start the company, they have 3 directors. Now after 3 years, after 4 years, okay, business semakin bagus, then uh, they started to argue, maybe because of money, business decision. So this is very common, really very common. They don't plan properly, etc. Now, what happened is they are not happy to each other already, just like your friends, okay, a boyfriend and girlfriend. When they are not happy, they argue. Then they say, "Oh, I want to break up." But is it so easy to, stop your agreement or stop your cooperation in Sdn Bhd? Everything is proper. Remember, I say just now, company secretary is very important, right? Okay, we are the one, because actually we are the one to help the company to comply with the law. That's why company secretary looks like very boring. Actually, we always deal with papers. We need to do resolution. We need to help our clients to, solve a lot of issues, help them to run company. For operation, for example, after they incorporate the Sdn Bhd, usually what they need to do, they got a lot of things. First of all, they need to appoint company secretary. Then, of course, after that, they will need to open a bank account. Now, example, when you want to open a bank account, what usually bank will request is bank will ask us, hey, of course, the client will ask the clients what bank you want to open, because you want to do business, you must have bank account, right? Okay, so then we'll ask them, hey, what is your bank account you want to open? Then after that, we need to talk to banker, and banker usually will give us some, uh, information, and then we request from our clients. Then we will need to do a resolution. Okay, company resolution. Now, apa itu company resolution? Anyone knows what is company resolution? Mungkin boleh type sikit, some quiz for you. Some quiz for you. What is company resolution? And semua tak, ada dalam syllabus kan ini company resolution? Ada tak? Ada kan? Siapa tahu, Sagi ada bagi hadiah kalau boleh. Hadiah apa? Hadiah boleh internship di kita punya company. Do you open internship, right? Okay, Cairo, good. A formal decision made by a company's board of directors. Okay, ini bukan chat GPT ya. Okay, so yeah, formal decision. Okay, because everything is actually in real life is actually just okay, example, we will just write something. Let's say we want to appoint a director. Okay, we want to appoint a director. So we will write appointment of director by section of the blah 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 of the Companies Act 2016 directors resolution, because director has the power to make some formal decision to the shareholders, to the company. So we must have a, actually yes, it's just a black and white, but we need to document that. Okay, we need to document that. And we document the resolution, we make a decision based on the Companies Act. Okay, good. So when, even if you want to open a bank account, the bank must get the company's director resolution, and company secretary will prepare. And usually our role is we will do a certified true copy to the banker, and we will CTC. CTC means certified true copy. I will need to check the validity of the documents, and I will CTC the company super form section 14, etc. Okay, so those are the what we call as a appointment. And then, like just now we mentioned, right? So one day when you not happy to each other, then you started to, you know, there are some cases where they want to remove the director. you want to remove the director, then we will do ordinary resolution at the general meeting. Okay, so I have met some of the scenarios where the director actually and also the shareholders, they are not happy to each other. Then they started to argue. Then at this moment, okay, director and company secretary play a very important role. So we will try to solve and discuss, okay? But if not necessary, usually we don't do removal, okay? Usually we don't do removal. Okay, so how many types of directors? Okay, usually, okay, we have executive directors managing the day-to-day operation. Okay, then non-executive directors focus on policy and oversight. So usually the managing director will act as a CEO. Okay, this is very, I mean, common and basic in private companies, but in listed company, okay, in listed company, it is much more variety and diversified. For example, of course, in a listed company, we must have a independent director and non-independent director. And then we have a audit committee, we have remuneration committees, okay, nomination committees, all those directors. Sometimes, as you can see, let's say you go to Bursa Malaysia, right? Okay, like for example, AutoCount, okay, auto.com Berhad. Okay, actually, you can see, okay, AutoCount Berhad is actually my partners. We are helping them to do the IPO advisory, etc. Also, so you can see when they go listing, right? So they must have in Malaysia, you must have, for example, in the audit committee, okay, you must have at least the chartered accountant, okay? So especially like accountant, I believe all of you are accounting students, right? Okay. So when you graduated, right? Actually we have a lot of pathway. We have a lot of pathway, and of course, not only being a company secretary, you can also be a chartered accountant, then you can be a auditors, and you also can be a tax agent, etc. So when the company go listing, they must have at least, okay, usually chartered accountant is very, how to say, influential, okay, because Bursa Malaysia Security Commission require chartered accountant to be sit in the board, okay, because not only directors, but some of like chartered accountants, okay, they said if you want to be independent directors or non-independent directors, okay, some of the requirement, at least there is one chartered accountant in the board, so makes the board more uh, recognizable, okay, and also got the credibility, okay. Now liabilities, of course, you can face some of the legal consequences for breach of the duties. So later I will share, okay, I will share two of the recent cases because of this director breach of the duties, very hot in the market also, okay? So you can know what is their responsibility. Okay, so we have done with part A about the directors, okay? Some basic introduction of their definition and their core duties. Now, part B, we talk about the powers and the duties, okay? Powers and the duties. So their key responsibility, okay, is to act in the good faith, act in good faith and in the company's best interest. Now, any one of you can tell me, what do we mean by good faith and also act in the company's best interest? Ada apa idea tak? Kalau let's say sekarang you jadi satu Sdn Bhd company punya director, okay, apa benda yang sangat penting, okay, to take care of the company's best interest? Now, what do you think the best interest in the company? Let me type, okay, okay, number one, yeah, Iza Inshira says stakeholder, right? Stakeholder, and then Dr. Shahiza, yeah, shareholder wealth. Correct or not? We are not NGO. We are not non-profit organization. Being the name, yes. Ainur Rahman maximizing shareholder wealth. Kita buat business sebab apa? Kita nak duit kan? Okay, so of course we want to build the wealth, we want to bring wealth, we want to make money, but of course after that we want to bring value to the society as well. As now we all know about the ESG, right? Environmental, social, and governance. This is also very, very important. I mean, yes, from just now until now, we say when you want to start a business, you can start from sole proprietor, partnerships, and then berhad. Okay, and all these we call it as a profit organization. So when we say you need to act in a good faith and company's best interest, right? Yeah, just now we talked about stakeholders' wealth, shareholders' wealth, maximizing the shareholder wealth. Okay, we take care of many parties, your supplier, your staff, right? And then the company's profit, most importantly, ESG, etc. So that's why, especially like best interest means we, as a director, you make sure, right, you don't misuse the company fund. Okay, the staff don't simply take out the money, do something else for private use. Okay, loan to the director, especially, you cannot simply take out the money from the company, right? And then, of course, what is your role? If let's say best interest of the stakeholder, like shareholder, you want to maximize the wealth. So means, let's say shareholder put the money into the company. So of course, you take the money to grow the business, right? You don't take the monies go and do other thing else. Or some people, we have cases where they are being jailed or being sued to the court directors because they misuse the fund, right? Okay, if you see some of the drama, if you notice like a TVB drama, Hong Kong one, those Chinese tycoon, the Hong Kong, they are very famous with all this misuse the fund. Okay, misuse the fund, and then um, this very common. We call it as like, for example, they can be like money laundering, right? Money laundering. Okay, we have some cases now. Just an example, right? We have our ex-prime minister being suspect of money laundering, etc., under AMLA, Anti-Money Laundering Act. So previously being called to the court. So like one MDB example, right? So what is the role of the director now? As a director, okay, we need to take into account of our shareholder best interest, right? Let's say one MBDB, they take a public fund, okay, or maybe your in private investor funds. Of course, we need to use it for correct usage, etc. Not simply use in other place, uh, donation, or maybe you go buy other private expenses, private usage. So this is definitely not allowed. And who will look at this? Like, let's say you are a listed company, of course, Bursa Malaysia Security Commission, they will look after it. And of course, if let's say you are Sendirian Berhad, usually SSM, okay, they'll look at it. Okay, so this is very important. Now, that's why you need to exercise with reasonable care, okay, with your skill and diligence, okay, consider the long-term consequences, and of course promote good relationship with the stakeholder, okay, and act fairly between the members. Members mean your shareholders, okay. Now, other than that, we talk about more specific, we talk about the statutory obligation. Okay, when we talk about statutory, it means it's by law, right? By law. Now, very important one, number one, we talk about a financial reporting. Okay, so financial reporting means your profit and loss and balance sheet, right? So director, of course, you see, we do business already. Next, we need to prepare our accounts, right? After prepare our accounts, we need to submit to auditors. Okay, then auditors will do a audit. After that, we will pass to tax agent. So the whole process is very important, because if you don't have financial report, if you don't prepare the accounts, then you don't have a financial report, then you don't have audit report, and you cannot submit for your tax. So if the director, that's why it's the role of the director. You need to know, okay, of course, director will not go to do the account by himself. That's why we have accountants, right? But the idea is director has the responsibility to know that you need to submit your account, okay, your audit report to the SSM and of course to LHDM for tax submission. Now, do you know that every Sdn Bhd must submit your audit report, right? Except recently last year the government has announced, SSM has announced. Now, what is the latest news? We have new law about new guideline about this. Revenue below certain amount, you no longer required to be audited. Okay, students, now you heard about this or not? I think doctors, your lecturer know about this, but how about students? Kalau pernah dengar cerita ini atau latest guideline ini, boleh type 1, kalau tidak type 2. Ada tak? Khairul 2 tak ada. Do a quick survey. Banyak 2 ha, banyak 2. Okay. Nuraina, Siti, Sharifah, Haziz. So I think, yeah, no Diana. So you see the recent market development. Just last year, very, very latest news. 2025 onwards, okay, your annual revenue less than 1 million, you no need to be audited. Sdn Bhd, okay, Sdn Bhd. 2026, okay, your annual revenue less than 2 million, no need to be audited. And last stage, 2027, your annual revenue less than 3 million, you no need to be audited. So which means in by 2027, okay, your annual sales Sdn Bhd, if less than 3 million, you no longer need to be audited. But now we don't have audit report, okay, means directors or company can save a lot of compliance costs. But the idea is now, do you think the directors still need to make sure the company have a proper accounting record? If you think yes, yes, Inshira said definitely, right? Now, again, if you think yes, please type 1. If you think no, please type 2. Make sure you still awake. Okay, yeah, a lot of 1. Luckily, don't have no 2. Okay. Adri, Hajiz, Diana. Okay. Adila, okay, good. So yes, even though you no need to be audited, but as a director, you still need to make sure your statutory obligation, make sure you have someone to prepare the financial records. Because this will make sure, like we mentioned just now, right? You need to make sure no people misuse your company fund, right? Including yourself. That's why accounting records, your accounts will make sure those very transparent. So after that, if let's say we no need to have audited report, but director need to make sure you prepare the accounts, you get your accountant to prepare, and then you pass to chartered accountant to do signature, and then still we pass to company secretary to submit the accounts to SSM. Okay, so this is still very important. Now accounting records, so just now we mentioned already, and financial statement. Now for financial statement, okay, now you want to start a business, you set up a Sdn Bhd, right? Okay, director also need to do a first board. Then usually after we open a bank account already, we set up a Sdn Bhd for our director and shareholder already. Then we will ask them, hey, then we will appoint a company secretary first, because within 30 days after, okay, after you set up a Sdn Bhd in Malaysia, you must appoint a company secretary. Okay, then after that, of course, director already been appointed lah. Once we submit the form, okay, to set up a Sdn Bhd. Okay, after that, we must have then we open a bank account. Okay, what happened after that? We need to start our business operation already. Okay, then you prepare your accounts. Okay, then after that, we need to prepare a first board meeting. Okay, first board meeting. So usually first board meeting we will decide, okay, what are the auditors and tax agent we want to appoint, okay, who are them, and then we need to fix year end. Okay, we need to fix year end. Okay, so within 18 months of incorporation, we need to fix a year end. So director need to decide as well. And usually in the first board, we will appoint the chairman. Okay, so they will do those decisions, etc. In real life, okay, in real life, usually we just do paper meeting. Okay, means we just draft a first board of meeting. Okay, then company secretary will have to do the documentation, etc. Okay, now after first year, then we set a year end. Let's say I want to close my account in December. Okay, now so we need to submit our audit report. Okay, usually by when? Let's say I close my account, I set a year end already. I want to close account in December. Okay, within 6 months, okay, we need to do circulation of our accounts to our shareholders and our directors. Okay, so you need to make sure the circulation is done in the 6 months after you close the account, and of course you do the lodgement within 30 days of circulation to the SSM through AGM. Okay, AGM means annual general meeting. So in real life, okay, in real life, so for company first set out, director will set a year end, usually within 12 months. Okay, then after 12 months, they need to make sure the account being circulated, which is within 6 months. Okay, and then after 6 months, then we will do lodgement. Okay, now based on this, okay, I give you one example. Let's say I close my account in 31st December 2025. Now, can you tell me when should I do circulation of my accounts? Circulation of the accounts to my directors, board of directors, and the shareholders. Okay, anyone? That's you again, huh? Okay. I already gave you the answer, right? Now you just need to apply circulation within 6 months, right? Cairo from July to December, which year? Inshira, 1st of July, I'm not sure, sir. It's okay, at least you try, right? Tak ada penalti sekarang, tak payah takut. Ini pun tak ada markah punya, tak payah takut. Before or at 30th of June 2026. Yes, within 6 months, right? Nashita, okay? So basically, yes, within 6 months. So actually end of the June, okay, end of June, okay. So we need to do circulation and we need to do lodgement within 30 days. So lodgement means we submit the audit report to SSM. Okay, we submit the audit report to SSM. Circulation between your shareholders or directors. After that, everyone say okay already. Then they will lodgement within 30 days from the circulation date. So lodgement means you submit to the SSM. Okay. Now, next one. Just now we talked about statutory obligation, right? Now, there is one annual requirements also. Means as a Sandram Bahan, right? Director need to make sure you submit annual return. Okay. Annual return. What is annual return? Kalau tengok nama annual maksudnya tahunan kan. Return is a form, okay, result. So let's say I start a company already, Sendirian Berhad. Okay, I close my account. I start a company in January 2025. I set my first year end on the 31st December 2025. Okay, 1 year in business. Okay, so maybe during the year we have some changes. We change director maybe. We buy car, okay, for business use. We maybe have a new injection, new shareholder come in to the company, right? So there are these changes right now. I'm not sure if you heard about a lot of times. Do you know that we actually can buy SSM report from the SSM? Means we buy the information, accounts information of the Sdn Bhd. Do you know that we can actually buy this from SSM? Okay, I think around 15 to 50 ringgit depends on your requirement. So you can buy this data, the company profile from SSM. Now, the idea is if let's say you want to maybe do a business with a company in Berhad, you want to know their background, you want to do their KYC, you want to understand their background, so you want to get their data, right? If you are not listed company, the data is not public available. Okay? If you are listed company, of course you can go to the Bursa Malaysia, you download their annual report, right? Okay? But for Sdn Berhad, it's not public available, but we can actually buy from SSM. Okay, so you buy from there, then you got the data, got the company profile, their information. So where do SSM get all this data? So actually, that's why they request the company secretary to guide. I mean, to make sure the director comply with annual return. So director need to tell us, let company secretary know, hey, what are the decision, I mean, what are the activities you carry out during the year. That's why company secretary is very important. They always work closely with director. Let's say director want to buy a company car, okay, then director, of course, or maybe director want to open a bank account, new bank account, or want to place a fixed deposit interest into a bank, so they must inform us. After they inform us, we help them to prepare the resolution, okay, director resolution or members resolution. So basically, uh, we help them to prepare all this, then the director will decide, okay, then they will sign, then they get a black and white, then we keep a copy in our records in our office, registered office. Registered office means the documents of those minutes, okay, those requirements, black and white keep in our company secretary office, because every Sdn Bhd must have a registered office. We keep the members resolution, director resolutions, all those records, minutes record of the company. Okay, so that's why director must tell us, then we will do a record. Then after 1 year, now after 1 year anniversary, so within 30 days after anniversary, okay, let's say I start my business, I incorporated my Sdn Bhd on the 1st of January 2025. Okay, 1 year anniversary, which is 31st December, right? 2025. So 30 days, within 30 days after 31st December 2025, which means on the 30 of January 2026, I need to inform. Okay, I need to, director need to let a company secretary will have to submit on behalf, tell the SSM what is our changes during the year. Mungkin ada shareholder yang baru, mungkin ada director yang baru, mungkin kita ada place FD, mungkin kita ada bayar director fee, ataupun kita ada beli kereta use untuk company use. So all this will be included in the annual return and we inform the SSM. This is called annual return. Okay. Then also we have a annual requirement. We need to do AGM. Of course, public company you must have, listed listed company you must have, but Sdn Bhd also we must have a AGM every year. Okay. So same thing also. So that's why director need to make sure all this being compliant. Okay. Now, what are the other key duties? So auditor appointment, you need to appoint the auditors, okay, for each financial year. Usually they will use the director for private company, usually we will continue to appoint same director. Okay. Listed co usually they will have 3 to 5 years, then they will change once. Okay. Then secondly, director also need to appoint, okay, the company secretary within 30 days of incorporation. So they will need to find a legitimate company secretary. So um after that, you need to maintain all the documents, okay, in the register office, like I mentioned just now. Display requirements, company name and number at all business location. If you have branches, you need to inform SSM as well. Okay. Talking about the recent news also from SSM, because in not very recent, but in these 5 years now, nowadays business landscape has changed a lot, right? Now we can do online business. Okay. Then we have like for example in Shopee, or maybe I have my own website. Okay, you have Facebook, social media, you got TikTok. Okay, SSM say it's a responsibility of director. Okay, if let's say you have a website or you do social media, make sure you put your company number, which is your SSM number, registration, business registration number in your website or on your social media. Okay, so this is also the responsibility, very important in this modern era. Make sure you have, because a lot of online scamming, maybe because of online scammers, a lot of fraud. That's why the SSM, okay, say you must put those your registration BRN, your business registration number in the social media also, okay, your website, etc. So because SSM number is just like a IC number for each of your Sdn Bhd. So it's the responsibility of the director. That's why if the director, okay, if the director don't comply with all this, then probably they will kena penalty. Okay, they will need to face on the compound. Okay, 50,000. Okay, usually minimum 5,000. Okay, so those are the so-called responsibilities. Okay, so we call it as a display requirement. Okay, now so usually in the board size, right, the board composition, just now we say we have executive, just a quick summary. Okay, quick summary. Now, can you write down in the chat board what are the type of directors in Malaysia, and then the general type, and then also the board size, the composition, like you have example, okay, example, you have audit committee, right? Okay, I just give you one example now. Can you write down? Make sure you're still alive. What type of committees you must have? Usually, you will have in the board of directors, especially in a listed company. Okay, especially in the listed company. Yes, Diana, good remuneration committee, right? Inshira, yes, remuneration. What else? Audit committee, yes. And for audit committees, right, you must have at least 3 members, all non-executive directors with a majority independent. Okay, because like I mentioned right just now, this audit committee is must have independent. Okay, must be a chartered accountant at least one. And then because why you need to oversee the financial reporting and the internal controls of the company. Yes, good. We have Amalina risk management committee. Okay. Now very important one is we have a nomination committee. Yes. Sophia, very good. Nomination committees. So what are the roles of the nomination committees? Responsible for the board appointments, okay, reappointments, and assessing the director's performance and independence. Now, just to frankly share with you, of course, actually, in Sdn Bhd, usually, usually they are one-man show, because especially now, Sdn Bhd, you at least one director, at least one shareholder, you can start a company already, right? So sometimes they just don't have all this, and it's not a 100% requirement in Sdn Bhd. But that's why they also always one man show. Okay, seorang buat semua. Tapi kalau in public company, listed company, is a requirement. You must have an audit committee, remuneration committee, nomination committee, and of course we have other board committees, like for example risk committee, which is by just now No Amalina talking about this. Good. Now we have a ESG committee, sustainability or governance committee, to focus on the specific oversight areas. Okay, so all these we call it as corporate governance, right? Okay, corporate governance. So corporate governance take good care of the company's governance. We follow the rules, okay, as per the Companies Act 2016, etc. Okay, now next I want to share about the board leadership structure. Okay, board leadership structure. What is this? Okay, when we talk about the board composition, okay, we talk about a board composition, like just now we mentioned we must have at least executive balance of executive and non-executive directors, including the independent, non-independent director, etc. Now, like I mentioned, like public listed company, okay, they are very strict. Bursa Malaysia requires at least 2 independent directors, or 1/3 of the board, whichever is higher for listed companies. Okay, and board size usually average around 7 directors. Okay, then the separation of chairman and CEO roles is very, very important. Chairman means like you are the one to oversee the everything, but you don't really involve usually in the operation. And then we have a CEO roles, managing director. Okay, the directors who manage the company operation. Just now we mentioned about that. So you are usually having the role of the execution. So usually the chairman will lead the board. When you do maybe like AGM, we must have a chairman, right? About a chairman, and then the CEO manages the daily operation. So chairman versus CEO. Usually that's why, remember just now I say it, director can be many names, right? You can name it, like for example you call it as a CEO, but actually CEO usually is like your managing director, or you just call it as a director, etc. Okay, so more to operation. So chairman is to oversee, director is to manage. Okay, so usually we don't put chairman and CEO as same person to protect the interest of our stakeholder. Okay, so next, other basic obligation. Now what are the other basic obligation? Okay, like for example, you make sure no conflict of interest. Okay, now conflict of interest, just now we mentioned what are the interests of each stakeholder. Like for example, if let's say the company staff, you as a director, you need to make sure the staff benefit, right? Okay, they have a proper remuneration pay, they have the staff benefit, etc. For supplier, take good care of them, their relationship, pay properly. Okay, make sure you pay promptly. Okay, then your relationship with your investor, make sure you maximize the profit, right? So that's why disclosure is very important. You must declare your interest if let's say it contradict with the company. Say for example, now in Malaysia, if when you want to go IPO, like for actually I also involved in some of the pre-IPO assessment. Okay, which means before because before we want to help our clients go for listing, right? Before they go to listing in ACE market or main board, then usually we will do pre-IPO assessment. Means we will assess the credibility of the director, the board as well. Of course, we look into many areas: their internal control, their financial accounts, their transfer pricing, their risk management. But because today we talk about the director roles, right? So when we do pre-IPO assessment, okay, then we will look into the credibility of the directors. Secondly, we also will look if now, because in Malaysia, when you want to go for listing, you need to do a prospectus. Prospectus means a proposal for Bursa Malaysia or Security Commission. Tell them, what is our future? What is our role? Who is our director? And we need to check the director's background as well. That's why, if let's say, for example, let's say in auto count Berhad, okay, like my partner involved in that. So when they want to go listing, right, we want to check what are the directorship of the director, okay, have in outside. I mean, other than other than being involved in this accounting software business, do you have other business in other company or not, in other Sendirian Berhad or not? Do you hold any other directorship in another company? Now, why they want to know? Now, anyone? Why why Bursa Malaysia or Security Commission want to know before they go listing, right? They want to know, why this director, okay, why this director, why they want to know this director has how many directorship in how many Sendirian Berhad or in other companies? What is your view? You can just share, right? Tak ada penalti, boleh share. Think from logic. Kenapa mereka nak tahu selain bisnes ini, okay, selain jadi director untuk company ini, you ada orang ini, individual ini ada hold jawatan sebagai director di company lain. Ada apa-apa pandangan? Why they want to know? Okay, Dr. Sharija, yes, experience as board of director, right? Yeah, we want to see whether you have the experience, you got any convict any offense or not previously, where you don't comply with the fiduciary duties, etc. What else? Logic punya. Okay, not only experience, why they want to know, focus. Now, kalau sekarang you sebagai director untuk accounting software, you you buat business IT development, okay, internet development, information technology. Tapi dia nampak you ada satu directorship di satu company, let's say, maybe spa and wellness. Okay, spa and wellness. Dia macam tak related kan? Sebab director got a lot of fiduciary duties, your roles, your responsibility. If let's say when you go listing, when you become public listed company director, probably you will lose focus. Okay, that's what I think. That's why they want to check if let's say, usually we advise clients, right? You don't hold other directorship in which is not related to the one you want to go listing. Okay, so especially those not related to your business. And also, if let's say you got another directorship in another IT company, also developing accounting software, what do you think? There's a conflict of interest, right? Okay, conflict of interest because you being a director in this listed company, going to go listing, but you still got other company which is not in the group where just like you keep someone else outside of the topic of the coverage. Okay, so conflict of interest, right? So you will dilute. Okay, so this is also important. That's why you need to disclose. Board meeting interest must be disclosed as well during the meeting. General notice, you can give a general notice of membership in other entities also. Yes, Muhammad Cairo, check potential conflict of interest, right? Very important. Good. Okay, so next one. Now, other responsibility, like for example, loans to directors. Yeah, actually we don't recommend. Okay, and actually you cannot simply The company cannot simply give loan to the directors unless certain criteria, like for example, you are exempt private company. Exempt private company means we have some requirements, like for example, the asset less than 300,000, the sales less than certain amount, okay? You have less than 20 shareholders, etc. Small company doesn't matter, but not encouraged also. Okay, now dividend distribution also, you make sure, because director will make decision. Okay, when you want to declare dividend, you need to do a so-called like meeting, okay, discussion. So make sure, of course, if the company is not earning, you probably don't declare dividend, right? Then you need to make sure your account is transparency. You got proper accounting, and you got you know how much company is earning. Because if you don't have retained profit, if you don't have profit in the company, in your profit and loss, you cannot declare dividend. Okay, so of course you need to make sure company has cash flow also, if let's say you want to declare dividend. Okay, because the shareholder appoint director like CEO, managing director to manage the company. So it's your responsibility to make sure the company is not has going concern issues, right? Okay. So next, director fee. Usually we will need to fix director fee, and we need to get approved as well in the board. Okay. Then what else? Compliance timeline. Now, compliance timeline. Okay, compliance timeline, especially for your compliance of SSM, audit report, and also your tax return, right? Okay, now, just now we talked about the requirement of a director to make sure compliance, other than the annual return, okay, audit report. Now, can anyone tell me what is the compliance timeline for tax submission for a Sendirian Berhad? Ada, you all got take taxation course or not? Got right. Doctor they got take the tax paper, right? Got right. Okay. Now it's time to test your tax knowledge also, because it's a responsibility of director also. When is the submission deadline for a Sendirian Berhad? When is the tax submission deadline for a Sendirian Berhad? Responsibility of director to make sure you comply on time. Boleh teka, sama juga ini tak akan masuk jail, tak akan ada penalti kalau you salah, pun tak ada tolak maka. Mungkin cikgu lecturer akan bagi extra marks lagi you punya presentation, you punya assignment kan. Kalau you aktif jawab soalan. Izzah, 7 months after financial year end. Sure or not? Almost there, almost there. Set within the 7 month of financial year end. Nor Aina, in Shira, July. Sure or not? Okay, actually, yes. I just want to scare you. Make sure you have got the confidence. Okay, correct. Um, now you see, Ishira say July. Actually, it's the last day of July. Let's say you close your account in 31st December 2025. So within 7 months, you need to submit your tax return. Okay, and do a lodgement audit report to the SSM, right? But in practice, LHDN, Lembaga Hasil Dalam Negeri Malaysia, they give us extension. Usually they give 1 month extension. So the last day in law is 31st July 2026, example. Okay, let's say you close your account on your Sendirian Berhad year end close at 31st December 2025. So by right, you need to submit your tax return on the 31st July 2026. Same time you submit your tax return, okay? But in practice, actually, IRAB, LHDN give you extra 1 month, which is on the 31st August. Okay, good. So, yeah, then boleh jadi director lah macam ni. Okay, so the compliance timeline is very important. So, just now we talk about for secretary, okay, for director, you need to make sure you circulate your accounts within 6 months, right? You submit your audit report to SSM within 7 months after close the accounts, and at the same time you submit your tax return within 7 months also, okay? And extra 1 month in real life practice for extension, okay? Good. Okay, board composition. Women diversity on corporate boards positively influence the financial performance. Now, what they want to tell us about this newspaper? And do you know that in public listed company now, they require at least, I think, 30% must have a woman involvement. Okay, semua doktor pun woman kan sekarang. Hari ini saya tengok. Kalau dulu bila saya belajar, semua saya punya coursemate kebanyakan pun woman, ladies. Now, in recent days, a lot of people, they encourage, especially like public listed company, they encourage women involvement also because they believe to encourage equality also. Okay, so because they believe, like for example, they do a data survey, women diversity on corporate boards positively influence the financial performance, means you can perform better, etc. So that's why when we help our clients to go IPO, etc., we do corporate restructuring. We usually face two difficulties. One is we want to find a qualified chartered accountant. Okay. Number two, we need to find quality. I mean, we need to find a quality woman involvement as well, because the board, the Bursa Malaysia, they request this, request the requirement. But of course, in real life, if we go back to Sendram Berhad, usually, of course, no such requirement. Okay, just based on your own so-called corporate arrangement. Okay, your business arrangement. But we can see there's a increase, okay, increase in the requirement, and also we want more women or ladies involved in the corporate world. And if you notice, to be a directors, of course, to manage the companies. That's why this is a new era of doing business, involvement of directors. Okay. So consequences of poor governance, we have a penalties. Okay, reputation of damage, director disqualification. Okay, now, like I mentioned, right? So operational disruption, etc. Okay, so hold on, I want to check the code of ethics. Okay, so make sure you follow, okay, the rules, etc. Those are the consequences of the poor governance. And some of the best practice for directors: stay informed, tech and risk audit, continuous training. Now, students, again, what do you think? What make it? What makes it a good or best practices for directors nowadays to run a company? What do you think? What is the most important criteria if you want to choose someone to be a company's director? You rasa apa yang sangat penting? Okay, boleh tulis. Yeah. Muhammad Khairul, IT and financial. Wah, I see Iza Inshira cakap qualification, qualification, okay. Dr. Muslimah, integrity. I like integrity. And also as an employer like me, okay, actually, now I forgot to tell you, because we are a digital accounting firm. Okay, we specialize in digital company secretary. Nowadays, because of change in the business arrangement. Okay, the government encourage digitalization, right? Like just now, Muhammad Cairo talked about IT. So actually, that's why you see my PhD in UUM right now. I research AI, artificial intelligence. So I'm one of the first pioneer digital accounting firm in the Malaysia and of Northern Malaysia. Okay, where Advisor Plus also awarded the MIA Digital Adoption Awards. Okay, you can check from the MIA website. Okay, we are being awarded this last year, together with Big Four like PwC, Deloitte. Because when I first started Advisors Plus from Alostar, okay, basically my hometown is from Alostar lah. So I actually promote digitalization. So we adopt those so-called digitalization, digital signature. Okay, digital signature. In the act, it allowed that provided that we do a resolution. Okay, the board allowed for the digital signatures, and then we encourage soft copy documents. Okay, CTC, etc. So our company even built our own platform where the directors, they can set up their business 24/7, every time, anywhere, just using our platform. And we have an award-winning platform as well. So you see, yes, IT qualification, financial is important with the era, with the change in the scenarios. And to take this opportunity for today for all students, right? Because we when Puan Farah approached me, I said, I think those normal syllabus, the role you can get from the theory, etc., but from the books, but what are the requirements in the real life right now as a employer like me? Because actually we have 12 branches in whole Malaysia also, and I have a 70 service center in whole Malaysia. So because why we can expand so fast is because I as a founder, I have the vision to digitalize the business, not only the helping the SME to grow, but also our digital accounting firm. IT qualification important. Like me, I have a chartered accountant. I have a ACCA qualification. I have a master from University of London. Now I even take PhD. Okay, those are very important. But the one very important is on integrity, ethics, which I very agree with Dr. Muslimah. Why? Because now I met a lot of I interview a lot of people every year because we have around 90 accountants on hand, okay, in any areas okay, KL we have, because we have 10 branches, right? But our northern HQ is at Alostar. We recruit last year, like this year, we took at least we took 7 interns in just alone in Alostar, and a lot of people still wanted to enroll in our company, but we stopped already. We just take 7. Okay, 2 to 3 are specialized in a company secretary, as a that's why they learn about all those directors, shareholders, right? But when I interview, you see, not only talking about students when you go out when you graduated, but we talking about directors. If let's say one day you want to be a director, you want to start your own business, same thing also for fresh graduate. Actually, integrity is the most important. Why? You can see proven data, proven records. Okay, I can see because uh, the students can be very high qualification, but they don't have integrity. You can be very clever, can be very intelligent, but if you don't have integrity, you fail everything. I got many example in my company, even though I just, because I recruited a lot of fresh graduate employee, right? The one I want to retain, I want to train them is not because they are very, very good qualification, but more on like their integrity. So that's why back to corporate world, okay, a director integrity is very, very important. Okay, like recently you see Syed Sadiq, right, our YB, but he is proven not wrong already. Okay, he's proven not doing any wrong thing, okay? Or our ex-prime minister, one MDB case, etc. Integrity will kill one success, will kill one achievement. That's why no matter how good are you, how many experience of being a director, okay, you need to very be careful on your integrity. So especially nowadays, it's very hard to get a talent. That's why advisors group, we call ourselves as a happy enterprise. Okay, uh, when you come to the company, and we don't call company, we call advisors village, because we not only want you to learn the technical skill, but most importantly, you learn how to be a good person, to be integrity. That's why technology, financial achievement, qualification is important. That's why we need to continuous training, right? But stay informed. But most importantly is the last one, your ethics. Okay, your ethics. Okay, last part we want to talk about the recent case. Okay, announced in the kenyataan media from SSM. Now, pengarah syarikat didakwa atas pertuduhan penyalahguna harta syarikat tanpa kelulusan mesyuarat agung. Now, mesyuarat agung maksudnya itu AGM kan? Tadi saya cakap, every year we must have a AGM also. So, seorang pengarah syarikat mengaku tidak bersalah di Mahkamah Seksyen Shah Alam pada 21 April 2025, baru sahaja, atas pertuduhan di atas Seksyen 218, Sub 1, Sub A, kurungan A atas syarikat 2016, Companies Act 2016. Okay, now just to take note, directors is bound, every of your financial duties, your responsibility come from where? It's not from us. It's not from the syllabus. It's actually from Companies Act 2016. Kerana menggunakan harta syarikat tanpa kelulusan di dalam mesyuarat agung bagi mendapatkan manfaat tidak langsung kepada diri sendiri. Now, you see, what is the issue here? Why SSM want to charge this director? What is the issue here, over here? You can think and then you type in the chat room again. Why this director being charged to the court? He said, okay, penyalahguna harta syarikat, right? Okay, no accountability and transparency. Yes, you must be responsible, accountable for all of your decision, right? You tak tanya dalam AGM, you tak buat disclosure, then you terus apa guna itu harta company, harta syarikat. Transparency, you need to do a disclosure, right, in your AGM. Inform your shareholder, inform your board of director if you want to use for certain. But I mean, this one, even if you want to use it, but make sure it is related, not for your personal interest. You need to take good care of the interest of your investor, your stakeholder, right? Good. Muhammad Cairo. Okay. So that's why this is a real story. Okay, now let us have a look on the summary of this scenario. So the case overview, director involved, Ahmad bin Hassan. Okay. I don't blank this name because why? This is already appeared in the court. We can get. Okay, and it's also from the SSM. Court appearance, April, Shah Alam Session Court. Charge misuse of company asset without general meeting approval. So the section we based on the section 218. Okay. Now, so the lesson is that's why you need to properly use you cannot simply misuse the company asset, especially without the general meeting approval. So allegation details, 1 million transferred from Bidara Flowers Sdn Bhd to Bidara Food Sdn Bhd. No general meeting approval obtained. Funds later returned to boost the personal shareholding. So those are the legal proceedings. We don't talk about that. Okay. Now, SSM, the penalties is convicted. Now, what is the penalty if you don't comply this? I mean, if successfully being charged, convicted, 5 years imprisonment, resort 5 tahun. Then fine up to 3 million. Okay, 3 juta or both. So very serious, right? So jangan action sangat kalau you jadi company punya director. Kenapa? Kalau you tak buat baik-baik, you tak ada accountability, mungkin akan masuk penjara juga. Okay? And then SSM reminder, legal actions will be taken against any breach of corporate laws under Companies Act 2016. So that's why you see businesses are urged to maintain, number 1, integrity. Number 2, transparency. Number 3, good governance. So that's why we say very, very important. Okay. Now, I have one real life experience also. This director, right? Okay, just now we talk about not only tax, audit report. Okay, we all know we need to remit EPF for our staff, right? Employee, especially directors, employer responsibility. You need to deduct 2%. Okay, let's say for foreign workers recently. Okay, then for normal staff one, 13%. Okay, 11% employee portion, right? Now, last time there's one directors. Okay, real life real life experience. The director also not comply with the statutory requirement because the EPF say you must contribute employer portion of the EPF and your staff portion to the EPF, right? So they do a remission. They deduct this from their salary, from the staff salary, but the director, okay, didn't remit to EPF, didn't do the contribution. So one of the staff, and some of them, they realize, so they go to lodge report to the EPF. So at the end, who kena? Director. It's the director responsibility to make sure, okay, to make sure that you actually being transparency and integrity to comply with the statutory requirement. So a director play a very, very important role in the company. Okay. Now next, second case study. Okay. Now, can I get one student volunteer to read out this kenyataan media? Anyone?
Boleh
Uh,
je.
okay, good. Muhammad Cairo, you are final year student also, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Okay, you kenyataan
SSM,
media, okay.
SSM dakwa Kenaf Trading Global Sdn Berhad, Ketua Pengarah Eksekutif.
Dan pengarah? Tak ada suara.
Sorry.
Hmm.
Problem tadi.
Okay, tadi dan pengarah kerana?
Pengarah kerana tawar skim tidak berdaftar kepada orang awam. Kuala Lumpur, 9 Mac 2025. Sebuah syarikat serta pengurusan tertingginya telah didakwa di mahkamah seksyen pada 3 Mac 2025 dan mengaku tidak bersalah terhadap dua pertuduhan di bawah seksyen 3 subseksyen 2 subseksyen A Akta Skim Kepentingan 2016 kerana menawarkan skim yang tidak berdaftar dengan Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia.
Okay. Cairo, so you rasa betul tak SSM dakwa dia kenapa? What is the, apa dia punya isu sekarang?
Dia tawar skim yang tidak berdaftar.
So itu pengarah maksudnya director kan?
Yes.
So itu tanggungjawab pengarah kan? You tak boleh mislead itu public. You tak boleh tawar itu skim yang tidak berdaftar. Okay, tak ada transparency, not accountability. Okay, good. Next, you jangan tutup lagi ya. Okay, you baca ni. Ya. Itu case summary. Ya.
Yes, summary. Company Kenaf Trading Global Sdn Berhad. Key individual charge. CEO Jazman Shahar Abdullah. Bankrupt during offence period. Director Irfan Hadi Jazman Shahar. Offence period September 2021 until August 2023. violation promoted Kenaf Development Fund without SSM registration. Section 3, Subsection 2, Subsection A, Interest Scheme Act 2016.
Okay. Kalau dia convicted, apa dia punya impact penalti?
Up to 10 years jail and or fine up to 50 million. Section 3, Section 3, Subsection 3 ISA 2016.
Okay. Itu additional charge, jangan tengok lah. Kita tahu lah sangat serius lah. Okay. Legal proceeding pun sama. Okay. Last one, SSM warning. SSM warning dia cakap apa? Okay, you baca tu.
SSM will act firmly against illegal investment schemes and unregistered fundraising from the public. Business must comply with the legal requirements and maintain public trust.
Okay, thank you. Good, Khairul. Doktor boleh bagi dia extra marks. Okay, thank you, thank you. Now, you see, the lesson is very, very important. Act firm against illegal investment scheme, right? Sekarang banyak scammer. Banyak scammer. Kita cakap online scam, offline scam, ataupun ada orang dia pergi cari investor privately, tapi not go through a proper way. Not legal way, okay? Like for example, Sdn Bhd, you cannot publicly raise fund. Okay, unless you are a public company, Berhad, then you can do that. But Sdn Bhd, you can raise fund, but you need to go through proper way. For example, go through the legal way, like equity crowdfunding recognized by the government. Okay, like myself, I'm a company secretary. I help clients to do fundraising also, corporate restructuring. Okay, but we always advise client, you cannot simply raise fund. Okay, you cannot simply raise fund using Sdn Bhd without proper equity crowdfunding platform. So that's why when we advise client, right, we also ask them to go through proper way. So we make sure the director follow the legal requirements. Like this case, the ISA or maybe the Interest Scheme Act says you cannot simply, issue any investment plan or fund, okay, without the notice. Okay, you cannot simply do that. Unregistered investment scheme, right? Okay, then, or in Companies Act, we say we cannot simply raise fund because you are Sdn Bhd. So that's why we need to follow. So director responsibility, you tak boleh cakap lah, you tak tahu semua ini. Okay, betul kita layman, kita tak tahu semua act, tapi most importantly kalau you fikir dalam itu layman punya terms ah, bila saya buat apa-apa benda, saya kena fikir dalam law, dalam integrity, then you are safe. Okay, good, thank you, Cairo, very good. So conclusion. Okay, conclusion. Innovation is very important in this era. Like I said, we digitalize, right? But at the same time, not only innovation, the director's role has evolved. It now encompasses digital strategy and risk management, ESG, environmental, social, and governance. Adaptability, strong governance, and client-centric thinking are essential traits also for company secretary to take care of the director's role. And last one, the code of ethics of being a director. And that's why the directors must have a good company secretary to make sure they comply with all the law of the Sdn Bhd. That's why like all of you are accounting students, right? I mean, it's your responsibility in one day. Let's say you go to join the corporate world as a company secretary. Usually, the first contact between directors will be company secretary, because auditor and tax agent will come later, or accountant. But company secretary, if you are Sdn Bhd, usually you are the first one to contact with them. So not only the roles of the directors, but the directors need to find a good company secretary, okay? Or you yourself, even though one day when you go out to corporate world, you need to be integrity. So that's the most important, I think, aspect as a conclusion, as a role of the director. Okay, so I think that's all from my sharing. And now, thank you again for the attention and from university and doctors. Okay, and I hope you learn something. And of course, before we end the session, now is the time to ask questions. Yeah, any questions you want to ask, like on the practical world, okay, in the real life example or etc. Okay, anyone? You can just type, or maybe you can just voice out. So yeah, um, actually, like in real life, okay, we tend to meet a lot of directors where they don't responsible. They don't responsible for most of the time. What we see is they don't responsible for the fiduciary duties, especially on the accounting report. This is number one non-compliance. Okay, they they start a company already, so they thought that yeah, my business is still new, so I don't want to comply with all of this, and they always think that this is the accountant's or company secretary job. They don't take this as their responsibility. This is one of the very misconception in the market. So they saja mereka just saja start satu business, start satu company, start satu sendirian, tapi dia tak ambil responsibility untuk jaga company punya itu operation dan dia punya itu compliance. Okay, so this is one of the misconception in the market where a lot of directors, a lot of individuals, they just think that I just want to do business, and if I don't comply with all this, it's not my responsibility. Now, do you know that what is the penalty impact if you don't, as a director, if you don't comply with the fiduciary, if you don't comply with your duties to make sure the compliance issue, SSM can give a compound of 50,000. Do you know that? 50,000. Okay, very high compound. But of course, in practice, usually we can apply for discount. Macam ada discount sikit, selalu akan dapat 85% ataupun 90%. Okay, but it's still a very high compound. Okay, and recently this SSM also announced, okay, it's a responsibility together, not only the director but the company secretary also need to be aware if let's say the directors, the company don't comply with all these statutory requirement, especially. Okay, and not only that, okay, not only that, like just now I mentioned, right, the EPF contribution, if director don't comply with that, you also kena penalties and also even jail. Okay, I have some cases. We talk about tax as well. Okay, tax as well. Just now we talk about audit report, annual return. You don't submit, you kena compound 50,000. But how about tax? Real life real life case as well, where we have few of the director, they don't declare properly their tax, or after they set out a company, they do a business, they don't do proper record, and they don't declare their tax as per timeline. So also got penalty. Okay, you tahu lah, LHDN. Okay, so kalau you tak bayar tax on time, there will be a lot of penalty as well. The penalty for tax is at least 15% of your understated tax payable. Okay, Muhammad Cairo. Okay, Cairo, you said in the start that when there's a conflict between director and shareholder, they really remove. We know the reason for that. Shouldn't they remove director to have a better governance? Yeah, ini okay, Cairo. So this is like okay. That's why we say theory is theory, experience is experience, practical is practical, right? A lot of things in practice now. Even though the act allowed that, but we usually don't do that because not so nice. But of course, you can do that if you comply with the law. The thing is, we seldom do that. I mean, kalau tak sampai tahap itu, kita tak akan guna itu removal. Selalu kita akan bincang dulu lah, maksudnya. It's just like settle out of court. Okay, because in order to remove a director, you need to go through EGM. Okay, and you need to do meeting, and then you need to go through ordinary resolution. Okay, then we call our meeting. Now before a meeting, you need to have at least dates, a stipulated timeline to inform all of the director and shareholder, and then they go to the meeting on that day. If they don't come, okay, then of course we will do a decision to remove director. And if the director don't come on that day, we vote by hand, then we can remove already. There's a procedure to follow. We can do that, but I mean in real life we seldom do that, because if we only do that unless they really, no solution already. Okay, because this will create a bad impression between the, directors, and also between our profession as a company secretary. Okay, but you are allowed to do that, just that in practice we try to solve it before we go to the very last and serious stage, because by looking at the words removal, really not nice, yeah. Okay, really not nice. Okay, thank you for the questions. Yes, thank you for the questions. Any more questions? Any more questions?
Anyone got any question? Last call.
Last call, last call. Kalau tidak,
Okay.
lepas tu ada consultation charge already.
All right.
Unless you nak datang I punya company buat intern. Okay, sir, can CAE present the auditor financial statement, or is it external auditor? CAE refers to chartered accountant, is it? Or oh, okay. Chief audit executive. Okay, okay. Chief audit executive present the audit, or it is external auditors. Okay, now actually we usually call external auditors. So it's the external auditors. Now, just now we say after you have a company Sdn Bhd, so within 30 days we appoint a company secretary. After that, company secretary will make a first board director. With the help of director, we need to set a year end, right? First board of meeting. Then in the first board meeting, usually we will appoint a director. We will appoint an external auditor. So this external auditor is his responsibility to, of course, the primary responsibility is a director responsibility. The director need to prepare the account, everything ready, pass to the external auditor. Then it's the responsibility of external auditor to present the audited financial statement. Okay. Then after done everything, the external auditor will pass the audit report to the company secretary, and company secretary will do the lodgement of the audited report to the SSM. So the chief audit executive, or maybe chief financial officer, is just like a staff in the company, internals one. Okay, the director hire them to prepare all those documents, their accounts. After done closing the accounts, then they will pass to external auditor to do the checking, to do auditing. Then only done ready, they give a opinion. Okay, the auditor report, the auditor opinion, and then they pass to the company secretary to do the lodgement. Okay, and just to top up, because of this digitalization, right? So actually, SSM also nowadays, they just compulsory in the 1st of July. We need to submit audit report through MBRS, which is a digital approach, where we no longer need to take the hard copy audit report to the SSM office. So now everything digitalized. Yeah. So the submission now can be through this online platform. We call it as a MBRS. Yeah, MBRS. Farah ada
Any
soalan?
question?
Yeah. Any questions more? Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Last call. For
That's
question
all.
session,
Nah, tutup kitchen lah.
anyone?
Okay.
No.
Okay, Fatini. No Fatin, no Fatin Fatini. If a father is already a company director, okay, and he wants to appoint his children as another director by claiming his children is actually really good and capable, is it appropriate to do so? Ini ada recording hari ini ada. Jangan circulate keluar. Okay, a good question from Nur Fatin. Macam I cakap lah, kalau law of course, okay, you tengok Sdn Bhd dan listed company. In Malaysia, of course Sdn Bhd dia macam usually selalunya dia family business kan. So kalau family business memang as long as kita, okay, director pun bapa, shareholder pun bapa, orang yang sama. Kalau di real life real life experience, okay, real life practical issues. But kalau if we go to listed company, public listed company, usually yes, even you can be family members, but you need to declare. Okay, you need to declare. But most of the time, director and shareholder will be different person. Okay, and even if you are the director or CEO is the same person, right? You must have a, like just now we have a board of diversified. Okay, we must have an audit committee or a chartered accountant, lawyer, etc. And then shareholders also, even if you are a director, I think in Malaysia we also have requirement, you cannot hold more than how many percent, etc. So this will make sure the independence. Okay, then of course we go back to corporate governance in Sdn Bhd private limited company. Even though not so strict, but of course it's still a best practice to practice independence and to avoid a conflict of interest. But if you are family business, yes, even papa, even family, even father and children, you also need to be integrity. You need to be you know independent. You still need to be like uh, making the best interest of the company, right? So back to the concept, back to the concept and principle. But yes, in real life you can do that. But of course, same thing. We declare, and we make sure we let the director knows you. As long as you follow the principle, that you follow the company's constitution, you follow the company's act, that will be not an big issues. Okay. Amiro, what is the requirement for internship? Yeah, hopefully we can deal with doctors if we when you open for internship, then you can let us know, because we always take a lot of good talent. Yeah, in you hopefully we can have some connection after that. No problem if we are open for the internship. Okay, Nurin, based on your experience, is there any case where company secretaries face threats like whistleblower when they highlight any director's misconduct? Yeah, of course, you see, even okay, these few years, actually the government, okay, they have come up with this new law called as a beneficial ownership. We call it as BO, okay, BO. So especially beneficial ownership means that you need to let the government know who is the actual owner of the company. Okay, especially if the shareholders, we have the mastermind behind there, or maybe the shareholder is corporate shareholders, right? We need to disclose all this. So that's why we want to have why the government want to have this BO beneficial ownership, with why they want to know the actual owner of the company, because to avoid those money laundering. That's why where whistleblowers will come in, and the under the PDPA or the Bank Negara also, now they have actually treat the company secretary as one of the responsible party to, you know, to declare if you notice, to whistleblow if you notice any misuse of the fund or anything. Okay, so of course, like I said, yes, of course, there's a risk over there, but too often, yeah, we will do KYC as well. So hopefully, I mean, if we realize something wrong with the director or etc., usually we will just advise them, you need to follow the law, etc. But yes, there's a threat over there. So that's why for people like this, if we can detect, we do KYC before we, form a company for them, we will advise them, you better follow the rules. Okay. What is your advice from Sophia? Would you give if the students are interested becoming board of directors? Okay, uh, one word, integrity. Okay, like for example, my company vision, you can go to Advisor Plus, okay, advisorsplus.com. Okay, now or you can follow our Instagram, etc. Okay, we encourage you to work happily in the company. We don't call ourselves company, we call ourselves as village, because we take good care of our staff, everyone, and we say to success in your life, right? To be a good staff, first of all, you must not only skill, but you need to be a good person. Okay, you need to be regardless of your race, regardless of your religion, etc. Because um, we believe the attitude is the most important. So go back to your question, how to become a good BOD. Go back to yourself, be a good person, be integrity to yourself. If you are good to yourself, then you go to your family. You treat your family good, being integrity to your family, you get a good job. After that, you will success in your career and you can be a good BOD. Then if you are good attitude, you have a good attitude and you got a relevant qualification, okay, when someone want to go listing, they will recognize your integrity, they will recognize your credibility, then they will appoint you to be the board of directors. Okay, because why? In real life, for me, I think, like for example, if they want to when they want to go listing, or maybe they want to do business, they want to hire an independent director, usually they will look at the criteria, the characteristic of the director himself. Okay, of course, in practice, in real life, people still look at the relationship. Okay, relationship, that's why you need to be a good person, and cannot limit to your own industry only. You need to mix around, okay, be diversified, uh mingle around with different industry people, okay, make connection, of course a good one, then probably you got the chance. That's why for students, number one, your attitude, number two, build your connection, okay, be helpful, etc. Okay, Izzah, sir, can independent director vote in AGM, or only person that have shareholder title can vote in AGM? Okay, of course, if we have two types, we have ordinary resolution and special resolution. Okay, so of course, if let's say we talk about normal case scenario, director actually they are just more to operation. Okay, shareholder is the one to vote. Technically, director is just to manage. Okay, Fatin, sir, on your opinion, which criteria does employer look into first? Qualification or just integrity? You say with your qualification but got to injury, it cannot be accepted since nowadays there's a lot of excellent people who intended to get a first job. Is it boss look for talented candidates only? Okay, okay. Like I tell you, our vision is we want to be a valuable digital accounting firm. So when we talk about a valuable digital accounting firm, for me, the first thing first, for fresh graduate, I look at their integrity, I look at their quality in terms of their attitude first. If you are very excellent, you have a ACCA, okay, but you don't have attitude, I will terminate. even internship or permanent staff like us, I always focus in their attitudes. Okay, even I assess their performance. I assess their performance. If you don't, if you can perform well, but you cannot have the proper attitude, you create politics. So sorry, I will still tell them you are not the person we are want, and you are not aligned with our, because you are not aligned with our company vision. Okay, so of course doesn't mean that even though I stress on the integrity, but doesn't mean your qualification is not important, right? Kalau you tak dapat degree, tak dapat diploma, you tak graduate, of course tak boleh lagi lah kan. Tapi most importantly, attitude comes first. Okay, attitude comes first, because qualification is your tickets. But at least when we talk about qualification, doesn't mean that you must be a top student in the, you know, for me, a good talent, you must excel in both. Okay, and attitude come first. Okay, no Amalina, in your opinion, between Excel and accounting software, which one is most valuable for student to learn before entering the industry? Okay, if you plan to work in SME, small medium enterprise, okay, you need to know SQL and AutoCount. And recently we have a cloud accounting software like Buku, AutoCount Cloud, Zero. All these are valuable, especially nowadays we are moving to digitalization, e-invoicing era. Okay, so you must know how to use cloud software. If you are focusing in the SME, you need to know cloud software and also SQL, AutoCount, because SQL and AutoCount is the most common. I think 90% of them are using SQL and AutoCount. This is number one. Number two, if you want to go to listed company, or you want to go to MNC, multinational company, to be an account or finance, then you need to know SAP. Okay, and of course some of them they use Oracle, usually, or some of them even they have their own software. So this is the main difference. So depends on your objective and direction. Okay, macam kita sudah tak cakap pasal director sekarang. Jauh sikit tapi boleh je. Okay, yes, welcome Amalina.
It's okay for the experience.
Yeah, can share. I think it's a good thing I can share to students, because not many chances you can, talk to us, right? Because students, right?
All right. If there is no more question from the floor now, on behalf of UiTM, we are really appreciate Mr. Hong Ling for your valuable insight, and also your lecture just now, very much helpful to us, and also hope to the students. Thank you so much again. All right. So we come to the end now. Yeah, a lot of now giving a round of applause to Mr. Hong Lim again. Sorry. So at the end of this, I hope that every one of us can have some basic idea, can learn a lot throughout this particular session. All right. For the link of attendance, I hope that you can fill it and you can find it in the chat box, the link for your attendance, and I've also pinned this into the message. All right, let's end our sessions today by recitation of Tasbih Kafarah and Surah Al-As. Thank you, Mr. Hong Lim again for this session.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, University. Thank you, Dr. Muslima. Thank you, Puan Farah, and all the students for being attention, still awake at this moment. Yeah, and I hope it helps you, and you can follow our Instagram and also Facebook. Okay, so usually if you have any internship, we also will post there, and of course you can, hopefully I can connect with Puan Farah as well, and doctors, in case you have any internship period, then we also will consider. Okay, so again, thanks for everything, and we shall see you again. Thank you.
Thank you.